So without further ado, let's jump on into the deck list. Our take on Striker Dogmtika Striker traps. It sounds like a lot. It sounds like it won't work, but it actually kind of does, and it was really fun to play. I was in a smaller-ish tournament. It ended up being 5 rounds of Swiss. We did go 5-0. We 2-0'd Striker, then Dragon Link in round 2, 2-1 Virtual World, 2-1 Salad, and finally it was a pure Tri-Brigade deck that we ended up 2-0ing in round 5. So the deck actually performed really well. I feel like the toolbox handles pretty much any deck. It eats combo decks alive. Back row decks, though, it handles pretty well too. So we'll kind of cover ratios and everything and go with it that way. First off, 1 Cyber Dragon. You're playing the trap build, so you play 1 Cyber Dragon. That's not too crazy. We're all pretty used to that here. 3 core, it's your starter. It's the card that makes the whole engine go. So 3 core. I liked 3 hers. I consider dropping it down to 2, just because of, Pot of Prosperity allows access to it, and you really don't need it. But Forbidden Droplet plussing off hers was the main reason I ended up leaving it at 3. The 1 Naxter, because it's kind of just a follow-up recovery play, get your Rampage back. Without Nova Infinity, it doesn't come up nearly as much as it otherwise, so I like 1 as opposed to the 2 I normally play. 1 Fear, it chain blocks, but it's a level 4 for Overflow, and it puts 2 bodies on board for Verde really easy. That's the main reason I like it. But yeah, so chain blocking is nice, but it's a level 4 and it's an extra body for Verde plays. I like the 1 Ecclesia. I know a lot of the trap builds just play the 2 punishment, and I get it, I understand it, but being able to just get this out so easily really does make me enjoy the Ecclesia, even in like real life builds where I don't have Nadir Servants yet, waiting on the Megatins. With 2 punishment and with the deck space like Guru Dragoon, I play punishment in, and I still do run the 1 Ecclesia because you don't always need to send in Tis for the double pop, so sometimes you could send punishment, send Titaniclad, search out your Ecclesia, and then you have Ecclesia to search out your other punishment, so it just searches out another follow-up play for free, and that's pretty darn good. 3 Emergency, 1 Rev System because we are playing the Access Code Talker play. It's kind of not needed because I guess here it is because we're not playing the Galaxy Soldier package. We'll get to that in a different build. So Rev System, essentially core plus 2 spells in grave and one light monster in your opponent's graveyard can make Access Code Talker because of Lina the Light Charmer. Cyberload, Overload, pretty standard. 2 Pot of Prosperities. I only have 2 in real life, and playing it, I actually really like 2. It's not a card I want to see all the time. It's a card that we lack extenders and starters, so it fills in that spot where if I see it, it often can dig me into my core, my emergency, my hers. So if I see it, it usually turns into one of those 3 cards, but I don't necessarily want to see it all the time because half the damage isn't the biggest thing, but losing my toolbox in the extra deck too, and the fact that usually you only banish 3, majority of the time I'll just banish my Lina, Celine, and Access Code. Sometimes I'll go 1 Rampage, 1 Intis, even 1 Mega Fleet. Depending on the matchup, all 3 of the Mega Fleet, or Mega Fleet and Fortress, can actually go. Forbidden Droplet was just insane. Breaking boards, plussing off hers, activate Emergency, they go to negate it, you chain and send Emergency plus 1 other card, and Emergency's already gone anyway, so just plussing off of doing that. 3 Nadir Servant cards broken. We're not really using it to its full capability because I don't want to add in the window play, I don't want to add in the bricks, I don't want to add in the Fleur and just really kind of push it in the other direction. I wanted to keep it focused more on the cyber traps. This just allows easier access breaking a board by sending an Intis or forcing a negate, or getting to your Ecclesia, which is always really nice. Sky Striker package. 1 engage, double Widow Anchor, 1 Shark Cannon, 1 Hornet Drones, and 1 Afterburners. Considering switching this out for Jamming Waves, probably the only switch I really am considering in the main deck for the most part is Afterburners for Jamming Waves, just because Salad, Striker, like, there's a lot of back row decks. I'd like to force it. Even against, like, a Winda deck, like, if you can force Schism right away, like, you Afterburner the Schism, force them to use it, force the Winda to come out, so that way you can droplet it, you can Widow Anchor it, and these other things. So otherwise you'll play Rev System and they'll chain the Schism to the Rev System, so that way Winda hits the field, your Cyber Dragon hits the field, and now you can't special summon. So it is nice to force that Schism. 2 Overflow. I have found 2 to be plenty. A lot of the time, like, there's just other disruption that I can use. The main reason, like, for playing 3 isn't so you see it more. It isn't so you, I guess I shouldn't say it's not so you see it more. It is so you see it more, but it's not so you resolve it more. Yassine is a master at popping his overflow when he needs to and having the cards to do it. Whether he, punishment, send an Intis and pop his own overflow to start his play for his following turn, or something of that sorts. That's why he plays 3, because he really has mastered the art of popping it at the right time to get the search off, and that's the big thing he really likes to use it for. I mean, obviously he likes to use it for the pop effect too, because it's one of the more broken trap cards in the game, but he really has mastered that art of popping it to gain the search, which is a big reason he likes 3. Personally, I like 2. Yeah, so I mean, I like 2. I know a few others like 2. I've actually seen 1 in some pretty successful trap builds as well, but I found 2 to be my sweet number, and that's what we're gonna go with there. 3 Solemn Strike cards, crazy cards, really good. Love being able to, like, set up your disruption, and you'll go to, like, pop one of their cards knowing you can force a negate, and they try to negate it, and then you Solemn Strike it, and you take out 2 cards for the price of, well, 2, but an even trade-off when they're losing monsters, you're losing back row. It's so worth it. 3 Infinite Permanents. Cards put in pretty good work, being a hand trap or setting it, shutting off columns. Most people play around the columns, but being a hand trap, and it's just pretty good overall in this format. 2 Dogmatic Punishment, then cards knowing when to use it, locking yourself out of the extra deck, it's fine. Like, almost every Dogmatica variant plays an extra deck, so it don't hurt us any more than it hurts any of them. And that's the main deck. So we got double Mega Fleet, 1 Fortress, 2 Rampage. 1 ideally could go, but it's a free Prosperity Send, and once in a great while it does come up where you need both. Double Intis, 1 Almirage, 1 Anima, Shizuku and Kagari, then Verde, Lina, Access Code, and the Celine. So I feel like it's not too unorthodox here, especially like back in Salad Striker format. 2 Mega Fleet, 1 Fortress, pretty standard, especially with no kaijus, multiple fusion spells, so multiple Rampage makes sense. Playing Punishment and Nadir, so having 2 Intisas makes sense once again. Almirage, Lina, Celine, and Access Code for the Access Code play. So essentially, if they have a light monster, obviously you can have spells in your grave, but say you're going second and you just start your play, like, you can use your Widow Anchors. This is where the Sky Striker package is nice, because you can open up your play with it, load up your graveyard, get their bonus effects, and you're putting spells in the grave for Celine. But you summon Core, search Rev System, link Almirage, Rev System back, link Lina. Lina then summons out 1 from their graveyard, and then you link off into Celine, who has the tokens, who then can bring back your Lina, and then you go into your Access Code Talker. And yeah, so that's how you make Access Code Talker. Shizuku, Kagari, pretty standard. If you're gonna play 2 of the Sky Striker cards, a lot of time, like, going first, if you have to end on just 1, or like kind of get an awkward hand, you just go Shizuku, search out 1 of your others. 3 Nibiru, 3 Droll for the side deck, 3 Solemn Judgment, 3 MVPs, Anti-Spell Fragrance cards broke in this format, and triple Evenly Matched. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, liked my take on it. Again, we ended up going 5-0, but if we get 20 likes, 20 comments, and we can go ahead and make, like, a actual competitive replay video, you guys saw the one in the beginning against Salad where it was just hand trap after hand trap after hand trap, but we outgrowned him because he didn't open any engine cards and we had all of our power cards, so it was easy to win that one. But others, come join Dragon Rider Games. The DCS4 is coming up really quick. Once we get the go-ahead, I got a pretty sweet, in my opinion, intro video that you're going to start seeing on these with all the details. But click the link down below. Come join. It's going to be a ton of fun. Sweet playmats, sweet field centers, big cash prize, and of course, I'm going to be live streaming it. So it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Take care.